and start record. We got viewers from all around the world already. All right. Hello, world. This is Eric Anderson here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and on my right, I have here Scott Savage Graham from Team Kaboom, and then on my left over here, I have Aaron Elringer from the 2010 U.S. National Kubb Champions, the Ringers, among other things. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for coming over to my house.
Thanks for hosting.
Thanks. Yep, and I do have two little ones, Maya and Cecilia, running around the house. So if anybody hears that, I don't apologize. So anyways, we are here. Today we have the amazing opportunity today to interview Johan Lundin from Gotland, and right now he is in Visby. Lode, welcome to this interview with the U.S. National Kubb Championship. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. So right now in Aaron just put up a picture of you from your team, Signalgatan, and we're gonna put in the right up there the cover of Kubb Nation magazine this year. You're on the front cover of that, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
An amazing photo.
Yes, it is an amazing photo, man. She captured that amazing. Did some of your friends talk to you about that picture?
What did you say?
Did some of your friends talk to you about that picture?
Yeah, we all think that that picture is amazing. We also have a couple of more before that, just that moment.
Yeah.
And all of those pictures are amazing.
Tell us what was going through your mind, right? I mean, we've got the picture right in front of us, and it was like, oh my God, man, that looks awesome.
In just that moment, we had a penalty cup. In our group, three teams have won the same amount of matches. So then we had penalty cup. Do you have that in Wisconsin too? Penalty cup.
When you're talking about you had three teams in the same group finish with the same record. So
yeah.
So all of you had to throw at baseline Kubbs to see who advanced, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
And our team were going to throw at the last. Mm-hmm. So the first team only got one cup, and the second only got 2 cups.
Yeah.
And our team got 3 in a row. We didn't miss one. We only had to throw 3 platoons.
Oh man!
And that moment is when the third player throws, and we are through to the next round. And I am so fucking happy.
So you probably would have hit all 5 had you kept going.
Yeah. The guy that is sitting without a shirt in the background there, that is my father.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So this guy.
He's a big fan and always look at our matches.
He's sitting in the lawn chair.
It's my mother to the left also, but you can't see her.
I was always wondering who that guy was there with his arms in the air, but that's your dad.
Yeah, that's my dad.
That was a tough Sunday group. I remember we finished our group a little bit earlier than you guys did, and I remember watching some of the teams in your group, and that was tough. That was the year after you guys finished second. Is that correct?
Come again?
That year was 2011. This picture.
Yeah.
And in 2010, you guys finished second place.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of pressure for you guys to get to the final 16 again.
It was a lot of pressure, and I think that was hard for us. Very hard. I mean, in 2010, when we played second, we haven't been that close to the final ever before 2010. So that was a big leap for us.
Yeah. What? And we got tons of questions for you, Lode. And but I want to
Just shoot.
Okay. I guess my first one is, and my Swedish isn't perfect, but if I understood the stuff that you wrote on your website was that this year was the 10-year anniversary or jubilee of your team, Signalgatan, and that,
Yeah, that's right.
and that perhaps this was going to be your last year as Team Signalgatan.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, but then I think that maybe you will continue to play together. And I was just hoping for you to take a few minutes and talk about the World Championship this year and what it was like and how the team performed and how you did and everything like that.
Yeah. We had a new player for this year.
Yep.
Johan Holmert. That is in that interview you are showing there.
Yep.
He left the team because he didn't want to play anymore.
He's the one
so
in the... Okay. I'm sorry.
Well,
He's the one in the middle, right?
yeah, with
Yep.
the beard.
Yep, okay. Yep.
He didn't want to play anymore, so we took in a friend that I know wanted to play and is a very good friend. And I didn't think we were gonna come along this year at all. We were just trying to have fun, but it has been so many years that we haven't had a full team. We always have to find a sixth player, always.
Mm-hmm.
And it's frustrating like hell.
Yeah.
So we had almost like 100% that this was going to be our last year, our 10th and last year as a team. But then we had so much fun this year, and because I know it was the last, I wanted to do this as fun as possible, but because it was going to be the last. And after the VM, we decided to continue. Anyways, we had a big discussion, and we are going to play at VM and at our own tournament, Siga Cup.
Yep.
But that's it. That's the only tournaments Signalgatan is going to play. And in other tournaments, I am going to play with another team.
Okay.
Which team, I don't know yet.
But you have a few teams that would like you to be on their team?
Yeah, I have a lot of teams to choose.
Oh.
Are you taking
Well-
bids then, or how do you make that choice? That's got to be hard.
Yeah, it's our friends team, Talult 89, that almost beat AKB 2011.
Yep.
They are on me all the time.
Uh-huh.
That's the team that I'm practicing with. I'm not practicing with Signalgatan.
Okay.
I'm practicing with Talult 89.
Okay.
And so they think it's natural for me to play with them instead of Signalgatan.
And this is that team right here in the picture, right?
Yes, that is Talult, and that is Marcel and Adam.
Yeah. And so if you played for that team, would you take over the Incastare position, or what would happen there?
No, Marcel is much better.
Uh-huh.
Much better.
He's gotten really well, really good.
He's really good. He didn't play this year at all because he's in Australia.
Okay.
But even though the Talult plays, I think they got through the group stage, but then they lost to Gloria Victis.
Okay.
But that was really good without Marshall. So
what was your opinion of the World Championship this year for all the teams?
for all the teams, I think it was really good. It's getting better and better. All the teams getting better and better. So for our teams to take us to the quarterfinal, that was amazing. I didn't expect it at all. But we didn't come that long because we are good. I think we did it because we had so much spirit in our team. All the teams that we met in the quarterfinals and before that, I think was better than us. But we have more spirit.
And part of that spirit is your dad and mom at all the games, and are there other people's families? I mean, because this is a tournament on your.
No, the spirit is only in our team.
Okay.
I don't see the other players around and the public. I don't see them. I'm so focused at the game.
Okay.
Is that something that you and your team consciously try to do, or is it just that you have so much fun playing that it's just raises your spirits, or is it something that you try?
Yeah, it's like that. My mother and father are not allowed to talk with me when I play. I'm so focused. I get angry. They know that, so they don't try to talk to me because I get so angry at them.
So here's the big question that I had, okay? And then I could be done after this question, but we're not going to be done. You listened to the interview that we did with Terry.
Yeah.
I got to ask you, is Kubb a sport for you?
Yeah, I think it's a sport.
Yeah.
But it's not like football or hockey but it's a sport. It's a sport.
But you train, you practice.
I train and practice, but again, it's a sport. But I'm drinking a lot of beer when I'm playing. So
Just a different kind of sport.
Yeah, it's a weird, different kind of sport.
You're not going to drink beer while you're playing football.
No, you're not allowed to drink beer when playing football, but
no.
Here you're allowed to do that. And I need at least 1 or 2 beers to play really good. I feel it because it calms my nerves.
So you get nervous at the VM.
Yeah.
And is that why? I guess why are you nervous? Because people are watching, or because you want to do really well?
I want to do really well, and when our team is so famous, we have a lot of pressure. So, yeah, I think that's why I'm nervous. Before that, when we were starting the team, it was whatever. We played and had fun and drink more beer than we are playing Kubb. So, but over the years we have become really good. So now it's more a sport for us than what it was at the beginning.
Do you think more teams on Gotland are viewing it more and more serious or as a sport, or that they really want to maybe get to the final 16 or the quarterfinals or the final at the VM?
Yeah, I think a lot of teams has gone more and more serious because they I don't know what to say. They found out that they are good and can come to the final. So I don't know what to answer at that.
But just by pictures that we get, it seems like there's more people playing at the VM and doing really well that are maybe in their 20s or older teenagers or early 30s. And it seems like, I mean, you have to practice to be good. And it seems like people are practicing more and more.
Yeah. And many players have learned this drill technique that we call it. And that's then you're halfway over there to have a good team if you only have a good incaster that knows the drill technique. And there are so many teams that know this technique now, so it's fucking hard. I was debuting as a referee this year. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah, and I was walking around all Friday long and looking at matches, and every group had at least 2 or 3 teams that know the drill technique.
Mm-hmm.
And only 2 or 3 years back, there was maybe 1 in every group, so it's crazy.
We have a question from
Yes.
a different part of Wisconsin right now. You want to read that, Scott?
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Do you think Kubb can be a serious sport? Or is it just something you're doing for fun?
It can be a serious sport, but I don't want it to be that way, because if it was going to be a serious sport, you can't drink beer.
No, this is true.
And
I've been trying to tell my dad that since February, when I blame one of our losses on him having a half of a beer, and so I don't know.
But it takes away the fun if it's going to be too serious.
Yeah. On Gotland, this is one thing I'm kind of interested in. On Gotland, there's a lot of people that play Kubb, right?
Yeah.
So at the World Championship, a lot of the teams are from Gotland. I mean, a lot of the teams are from Gotland. During the year, when you see somebody, I mean, and there's only, I think, like 65 or 70,000 people on the island of Gotland. So like during the year, when you see a person from a different team in the grocery store or at the post office or wherever, do you guys talk about Kubb? Do you like say, I mean, what's it like? And like, are there rivalries, you know, between teams? What's it like?
I think I have a lot of people that I only know because of Kubb VM. And when you meet them out in the city or in the grocery store or whatever, that's the only thing you have in common. So yeah, then you talk about Kubb. And I have a friend in my soccer team that plays for Gloria Victis, and the only thing we talk about when we talk to each other is Kubb. So.
What do you talk about? What do you talk about? Give us some.
We talk about the VM and our team, if we are satisfied with our players, and
sport.
different techniques and like that. All you can think about when it comes to Kubb.
What does Gloria Victis think about their team?
They are satisfied with their team. They had one player, Matthias, that wasn't that good, but they switched him out this year and they got a new one, Rickard. So I think they are pretty satisfied with their team now.
Do you ever practice?
And they are really good. So
Do you ever play against them or scrimmage, or, I mean, do you, as a 6-person team?
again, I didn't hear that.
Do you ever play against them as a 6-person team throughout the year, or is it only at the two tournaments?
We have only played. We met them in the final in 2010, and we met them in the quarterfinal this year. But that's the only times we have played against them.
Okay.
So you know,
It was one tournament 1 week before VM this year, but then I played with Gloria because I was the only player from my team. So I just jumped in their team and played with them.
And did you practice with them ahead of time, or did you just jump right in?
I just jumped right in. I was going to play with Domi from my team, but he didn't show up. So I couldn't play alone because you must be at least 2 players in that tournament. So I just asked them if I could play with them, and they said, "Oh, all right, sure, go ahead."
what do you play Kubb throughout the year with people from other teams? Like just for fun? Like somebody gives you a call and says, "Hey, Johan, we're gonna play Kubb at the park here in Visby. You want to come down and play?"
Yeah, I almost always through the summer get invitations from other teams that just wanted to train with me or just play for fun. Or it was one team that had a club championship. They have 3 teams in called A-laget, B-laget, and C-laget.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have heard of them.
Yeah, I think we have a picture of the B-laget in the magazine. They were all they're all girls.
The girls.
Yeah.
And this year they have had a club championship, and they just invited to me to come and look and be a little bit of a referee and that stuff. So things like that happen all the time. That other teams want me to come and play.
So there's B-laget.
Yeah, that's B-laget, the girls team.
Yeah. You go ahead.
Yeah, I just think that's fun because my team isn't practicing, so it's good to have other teams that want me to play with them.
You had mentioned the tournament the weekend before the VM, and you need to have at least 2 people in that tournament. Here's a question for you. We just had our first 6-person team tournament here in the U.S. Last weekend.
Yeah.
And some people were nervous about it. Some people didn't want to play in it, just because of you only get the 1 baton and everything. So that made me start thinking about a question for you is, let's say it's a Saturday. Let's say the temperature is 25, 26 degrees Celsius, right? So maybe the mid to upper 70s here. You have a cooler full of your favorite beer, and you're at the park. And there's a lot of people there, and you're playing Kubb. For you, what's the perfect, most enjoyable number of people to play on a team in the perfect world for you?
Is it just for fun, or are you going to compete?
Both.
Or what?
Both.
Both.
Yeah. Let me know both. What do you think?
If it's just for fun, it doesn't matter how many people you are.
Yeah.
But when it's getting serious, I think 6-player team.
You like that?
The only reason that the other tournaments don't have 6 players is because then they wouldn't have as many teams that will they will be in the tournament. So I think that's the only reason.
So is that
It should be 6 players.
You think it should be?
In my opinion.
That's Kubb in its purest form for you, is 6 players and everybody with 1 baton?
Yeah, that's how it should be. Not 3 players. I think that's ridiculous.
For cowards. It's for cowards.
For cowards.
Yeah, for cowards.
So in the situation where you
some water
have
real quick.
6-person team against a 3-person team, you think that in your tournaments, your experience, does one type of team have an advantage? Because I know what our experience is here in the U.S.
Yeah, because then you only have to have 3 good players. And to find 3 really good players isn't that hard. But to find 6 really good players is hard. So it should be 6 players because it's more of a sport then.
Okay.
More of a team?
Yeah.
You're the team captain for Signalgatan,
Yep.
and you say here in the interview that you're the guy who keeps this team going. You always try to keep the mood up on your team. Can you give us a little insight, a little information on how you do that and on how you try? I mean, I'll just say this: we had the 6-person team tournament last week, and there were some pretty good Kubb players there, but at the same time, a lot of teams were throwing at the 8 meters and they weren't knocking anything over. And it's easy for a team just to go down. How do you, as a team captain, kind of try to keep the mood up on the team?
I never, and I mean really never, yell at my team or say that if they miss something that is really, really important. I'm just trying to cheer them up, and that was just bad luck, and when they hit a really hard one, they must really know that was fucking good. So you I don't know. You must have that spirit all the time.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Team Ekeby, they are really good, but when they are playing, they are standing there like stone figures. I think that's really boring.
Yeah.
And when you do something not well in that team, no one comes forward to you and knocks you on the shoulders or say it's okay, liksom.
Right. Let's talk about, if that's okay, the 13-time world champion. How do they keep winning the world championship, do you think?
Because they're really good at getting the base cups down.
Yeah.
They are really, really good at that, and that's why they win. That's my opinion.
Yeah. There's some videos out there of them playing in the World Championship. It was last year against, I think it was Elephant Bice 2000, and they just don't miss.
No.
And I guess if you have 2, and I think they'll admit that their Incastre is not that much better or is not one of the best. They'll even say it. But when you got 2 level playing fields of people that are drilling, that 8 meters is very important, you think?
Yeah, the 4 meter doesn't matter at all when you are through the group stage, and we are playing quarterfinals and finals and so on. The 4 meters doesn't matter at all. It's on the base, you win the game.
How do you practice your 8-meter throw when you just have 1 throw? I mean, is it just that people have done it so long? I mean, how do you? I mean, I've tried to I think we've all tried to be really good at 8 meters, the base, but
Yeah,
it's tough, especially with 1 throw.
Yeah, I actually started training at 8 meters last year because before that I was only throwing at 4 meters. But now I'm only throwing at 8 meters. And I'm actually really good at it. When we met Gloria Victis in the quarterfinal this year, the Gloria Victis came forward to me and said, "Can you miss at all?" And that's a really good compliment to come from that team. But yeah, it's 8 meters. It's there you win the game.
Have you ever thought about, or I don't know if you've ever played Team Eckerby? Do you have any strategy that you think might work to try to beat them?
I haven't met them with Signalgatan, but I have met them 3 or 4 times with my old team. I played with a team called Bayern Fans before I started my own team. And they were pretty good at that time, but they didn't use the drill technique. They didn't know how to do that, and it was pretty new back then. But we met Team Ekeby many times, and we met them at the quarterfinal. I think it was the year 2000 maybe. And our captain was saying before the match that the only chance for us to win against Team Ekeby is if we take all the 5 Kubbs right away on the base and then the king. So they don't get to throw. That's our chance.
Okay.
And we almost did that the first set. We took all the 5 base Kubbs, but didn't have a platoon left for the king.
Oh.
And we won that set, but then they won the other 2.
Okay.
So we lost that match, but that was pretty awesome that we took the whole baseline the first
Wow.
round.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
We have a question here from the big city of Minneapolis, about 90 or 100 miles to our west.
Yep.
It says here, any comments on most successful 8-meter throwing strategy, speed, height that you think?
I don't know. All players have a different kind of styles on throwing, and I think you just need to find your style. But like when I throw at 8 meters, I throw the platoon pretty high up in the air before it hits the cup. And when we played the tournament 1 week before VM, it was blowing like hell. So my 8 meter throw was not useful at all. And then I had to change my technique to be able to hit the 8 meters at all. So I don't know. You need to be able to change your technique, and you just not have the same all the time. It's like when I'm using the drill technique, I'm not using the same kind of drill technique all the time. It depends on the grass.
Sure.
Yep.
Let's talk about the drill real quick.
Yeah.
In the magazine, we quoted you. You said that the definition of a good incaster or a good driller, if I remember correctly, is being able to adapt to the ground or the conditions.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've noticed this past year going to a few different tournaments, is that every tournament is different. Maybe even each pitch or each plan, each field is different.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about any advice you have for a driller or um, trying to figure out the terrain while you're playing without giving away all your secrets, I guess.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I think before the match starts, you need to take 10 minutes or whatever to feel the grass and know what technique to use. Because if you don't do that and you start throwing it maybe doesn't go that good. So I don't know what other tips or tricks I could tell you.
But you have. I remember watching you a little bit, and when I got to watch you, it was before I actually even met you. But I remember watching you because I was very intrigued by that group you were in. It seemed like this was 2 years ago that the group was a really good group, and I'm not sure if my team maybe would have finished fourth in that group. I don't know, but it seems like you have a lot of different types of throws that you have. I mean, you can make the Kubb do different things depending on what angle you throw it at, and that's something that you do practice, right?
Yeah, the only thing I can't do when throwing in the Cubs is make them roll over at the left.
Mm-hmm.
Niklas from Elephant Bites is amazing at that, but I don't know how he does that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me clueless. I have tried, but I don't know how the fuck you do that. But that's a really good thing to be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only thing I can't do.
Right.
But it's frustrating.
So, if you need to practice on different types of turf, I mean, do you practice on what you anticipate the VM will be, or what a certain tournament is going to be? You're drilling, or are you just practicing at home, or that just kind of happens the way it does?
On VM, it's almost always the same type of grass. Only difference you can have is when it's raining like hell.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really good for me. So it's easier to throw in when it's really soaked and wet. So I don't know.
I have another question here. It sounds like you play not only you play with a lot of different people throughout the year, and I'm wondering how important it is to you, or how important it seems kind of as a culture of players, how important a certain type of set is, or the shape of it, or weight, or whether they're painted. What types of sets are you playing on when you play with other people? Is there a certain brand, or?
Just a few years back, I played with a painted Kubb that I bought from Kubb VM. But that game is really expensive. So nowadays I play with unpainted games that is also bought from Kubb VM. But they're actually not that good quality on them, but I'm just practicing. It's not that important. It's a Kubb game. You can practice on it even if it's not good quality.
So when you go to a tournament, do you have an expectation of a certain type of set to be there, or would you ever be disappointed if you found a certain type of set, or
on the VM?
On a different tournament maybe.
On different tournaments, in my opinion, it should be the games that they are using on VM should be in all tournaments. I think it's ridiculous that they are using other type of Kubb games in other tournaments. So it should be the same in all.
And by same, you mean, is it a brand? Or is it?
I don't know if it's a brand. I don't know how they are, what they get their games from. But I think they're doing it themselves. They have some guy or some woman doing the games, but it should be the same.
And I don't remember this exactly when I played over there, but I think I remember sometimes different Kubbs would weigh just a little bit different than the other ones, or the batons would weigh a little bit differently than other ones.
Yeah.
Is that something that you think is okay, or would you like to see it be more similar or the same weight? You know, or is that just part of the game?
I think it's okay, because if I wanted a pretty heavy baton, maybe my friend don't want a heavy baton. So I think that's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that much. No, not in a 6-player team.
Right.
But if the Cubs doesn't weigh the same, that's another thing. But the baton is okay.
Okay. So you'd like to have all the Kubbs be the same weight?
Yeah.
But for the batons, it's okay if they're a little bit off each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you care about I guess we call it a route, but like the edge that is on the Kubbs? Some are sharp, you can make them sharp or soft, or I think we're kind of picky over here, or at least we notice how some of the pieces are different and they play differently, and so I'm wondering if you have like a collection of Kubb sets that you practice for different tournaments, or if you have this expectation that you just play what's there.
Yeah, in VM, most of the Cubs, the corners are cut off. But not all. I don't know why they do that. But the most of the Cubs, the corners are cut off. And I think that's the way it should be. Because it's harder to use the drill technique then.
Yeah.
And it should be harder because it's too easy. No corners.
No corners. What do you think? Do you have more questions about the sets?
No.
Do you think the game is too easy right now?
No, not too easy, because there are not that many teams that are that good at 8 meters.
Yep.
It's easy to throw at 4 meters, sure, but when you come to 8 meters, there are not that many players that are so good that they can say this game is easy. Maybe Jocke in Team AKB. Right. He can say he can say that it's easy.
You saw that video he did that he hit all those down like for 5 minutes or something.
Yeah.
I
think he's an alien or something.
Yeah. You know, that's a really good point, because when I get ready for a tournament, sometimes I practice different throws, and once in a while I'll practice like a 6 or 7 meter throw.
Yeah.
And like 6 or 7 meters seems like so much easier than 8. For some reason, when you get to 8, you start changing your throw, or you think you have to do something different, or it's just that little bit distance more. I'm not sure, but 8 meters, that's tough, right?
Yeah, it's tough. it's really tough.
Do you like at I guess I'd like to talk about some of the rules and everything. And at the World Championship,
Yeah.
the one team, a team can have one driller all day they can do it. But at the Swedish Championships in Småland,
Yeah.
I think each player on the team has to drill.
Yeah.
Would you like to see that at the World Championship, or have two people, or have two people drill at the World Championship?
No.
No.
No, not at all.
No. Okay.
I think it's pretty fun that the Swedish Championship have that rule. I think it's pretty fun, but then again, I think it's ridiculous.
Okay.
So no, not at VM. One player, that's enough. The matches would take so much time if all the players should throw.
And that's why you don't like it. It would take too much time, or
Yeah, that's the most of the reason that it will take so much time. You will never be finished. When we played the final in 2010, we played it. I don't know. We have played for 12 hours, I think, and in a row. And if you would have that rule, we would never have been finished. So no, that's just ridiculous.
okay. I got so many. Okay. I got it. We have a question coming in from another part of Wisconsin now.
Yeah.
And it says here, do you think it takes away the fun for a beginner team to play a Team Ekeby or a really good team? Like even your team. Do you think it takes away some of the fun, or?
If you're just playing for fun, then yeah. Then it will take away the fun for that team. But if that team would like to go somewhere, they will learn much from that match.
Yeah.
So then it's not taking away the fun.
Sure. It's part of the fun.
Yeah. And something that I forgot to mention, you asked me before what I was doing to keep the spirit up in my team. And this year I was doing something different because I thought it was going to be the last year. So we did, I don't know what to call it, goal celebration. When you score at soccer or hockey, you do a goal celebration.
Yeah.
And we kind of did a thing like that. So when we won the first set, all of the players in our
like
team was running forward to the king, and we were just falling down on the ground at the same angle that the king has fallen. We did that every first set we won, and that was really fun. And all the other players that were looking at our matches think that was really fun. And when we won the match, and we had sorry, I'm choking sometimes.
No, that's okay.
When we won the match, one player from our team was running forward to the king, placed him up, and we took our smallest team member and used him as a battering ram and knocked down the king.
Okay.
I like that one.
I don't know. Can I send you pictures
Sorry.
now in Skype
Yeah.
that you can see?
Yeah.
Because I have a picture of that
Yeah.
when we're using him as a battering ram.
That's a good one.
it's really funny, and we didn't expect to come that far this year. So in the quarterfinal, his head was,
team, though, right?
I don't know, I think we broke it.
If you
Let's see if,
so here's a picture from your team from a couple years ago when you would do a dance after you won in a circle.
yeah, it's the circle. We always do that after we have won.
Okay.
We dance around and celebrating that we have won the match. We did that this year also, but we did the goal celebration thing also.
And this,
Now I'm sending the picture to you.
okay. What I'll do then is I'll load that picture up after the interviews on the Facebook page as well. So then so then the world can see it, can see the battering ram, the Signalgatan goal celebration, king celebration.
It was really awesome. It really was.
Here's, I forgot about this, but and so this question is going to go into the depths of what Kubb means to you, I guess, as Johan. But you got a tattoo on your leg earlier this year of a king, if I remember right, some Kubbs, and I'm not sure if there were batons in it as well.
Was there a
It's a whole Kubb game.
Yeah.
Was there a battering ram in it too?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
What? I mean, obviously, Kubb must mean a lot to you, or it's done a lot for you. It's created friendships, you know, all these things. Can you just talk about why you got that tattoo and what Kubb means to you, and maybe the people that you are friends with in that?
Yeah. The tattoo, I didn't do the tattoo because I think Kubb is so much fun. Sure, I think that too, but the tattoo symbolizes Kubb VM and all around it, because Kubb VM for me is the only time in the year that all my best friends are gathered at the same place. It's the only time a year, and I have so much fun with them, and like they are singing they are singing the Swedish national anthem before we start playing on Kubb, and they are singing that you want to die in Nordic, not in Sweden, but in the Nordics. And but Rone has their own, and they're singing "I want to die in Rone," and that's is almost how I feel, because that's the best time of the year for me. It's when I'm at the Kubb VM, and not just because Kubb is so much fun. It's because it's the only time I meet all my best friends and family. So that's what the tattoo symbolizes.
So for you, the Kubb VM has the saying, Kubb unites people and creates peace on earth. You believe that. It brings people together for you.
Yeah. I have made a lot of new friends also out in Kubb. So I just think it's amazing. I've played on Kubb for 13 years now. I've made so many friends. And I have so many friends that didn't had played Kubb at all from the start, and now almost all my friends have their own Kubb team. I guess I have been a little bit of an influence on that.
Yeah. On the island of Gotland, what percentage of the people do you think know that there is a Kubb VM? Most everybody?
Yeah, 95%. I think they know that all of them know that Kubb exists, but don't think all of them know that it's on Gotland.
Okay. And I said this to, I think it was Terry maybe, but when I was over there before the Kubb VM, I was visiting friends and family, and when I would tell them, this was in Småland in Blekinge, but when I would tell them that I was going to go to the Kubb VM, they didn't believe me. There was a Kubb VM,
Yeah,
but on Gotland, it's Kubb is part of your culture there.
yeah, I think so.
Do you one thing I want to make sure I want to ask about is it seems like Kubb is starting to be more and more visible on the internet.
Yeah,
Teams have Facebook pages, Twitter accounts. They're traveling. There's huge tournaments in Belgium, in Germany, in all these places, and more of these teams are starting to come to Gotland to play in the VM.
yeah.
And what's your experience with some of these non-Swedish teams that are coming to the Kubb VM? Do you think they look at Kubb differently than you look at Kubb? And do you think in the future one of them will maybe be able to win the VM?
I don't think they're looking at it so much more different, but the teams that come to VM, maybe half of them is really, really good, and that's at the top 20. And half of them is teams that just want to have fun and drink more beers than playing Cup, but that's fun too. But yeah, I don't know.
I guess to me, somebody living here and not in Europe, but following it a little bit on the internet, is that some of these top teams in Europe, they, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess my feeling is, and I guess that's okay to say what my perception is, but my perception is that they view Kubb a little bit more serious as than the teams from Gotland, maybe more serious as a sport. Where on Gotland, it seems like it's just what you do. You just play Kubb on Gotland. But
Yeah.
that's that, and I'm not saying it's good or bad.
I think that's right, Eric. If, in my experience, the teams from Germany, for example, they are much more serious than we are here on Gotland. But then again, sure, they are more serious, but they can't beat us. So
Well, maybe they feel like they have to try to be serious in order to beat the top Swedish teams.
no, you shouldn't be too serious. You
No.
should have more fun. I think to get really good.
Yeah. But more and more of these teams in Europe are traveling more. It seems like the top teams. I mean, there's 99% of the teams don't travel. They play probably one tournament a year.
Yeah.
All those types of things. But some of these teams are traveling, and they're traveling. It's tough to get to Gotland, right? It's
Yeah,
not
it's really tough.
it's not Berlin or
No.
even Stockholm. I mean, it's tough to get there. So, and
It's really expensive to get there. The
Yeah.
boat here from Stockholm it's ridiculously expensive. So I understand why don't more of the teams come here. it could get so much bigger.
Do you think that the world? Do you think the world championship should travel, or just stay in Rhone?
No, it shouldn't travel. It should stay on Rhone. If we say that it should travel, that next VM is going to be in Germany or whatever, I think maybe 1 or 2 teams from Gotland is going to go there. And then in the top 20, 15 teams is from Gotland. So the quality of the Kubb VM should fall drastically.
When you meet people around town and talk about Kubb, do you take pride in the fact that the Gotland teams? It's tough for a non-Gotland team to maybe get even in the semifinals. Do you like that?
I don't know. I don't know.
But it's nice when Gotland teams do well.
Yeah, of course. Of course, I want a team from Gotland to win. I think the only time that I'm cheering for Team Ekeby is when they face up against a team from, example, Germany or another country.
Uh-huh.
But when they don't, I'm cheer for the other team from Gotland. And I think most of the people do, because they're sick and tired of them winning all the time.
Yeah.
So I have a kind of a strategy question about within your team. I'm just reading this page with kind of the player profiles of your team. And I think two or three of the guys, it says, they say like I'm a safe player.
Yeah.
Does that mean like maybe you have your blaster and you have your last thrower? Does that mean you want the second, third, fourth thrower to be? You want them?
In our team we have one blaster. I used to be a blaster, but not anymore. So now we have one blaster, and we have one player. I don't know what to call him, a half blaster. And we have 2 players that are safe players that maybe throw at the Cubs at 4 meters that are single.
Yeah.
But you know that they will hit them.
Okay. Yeah,
I think that's a safe player.
I'm curious about that notion of the safe player. And is that maybe the third or fourth? They throw third or fourth maybe to knock off those, just the singles that might be out there, but they're going to hit them.
Yeah, safe players almost never miss.
Okay.
4 meters. But they don't have to be good at taking down many. So we have one player that smashes the whole thing, 2 safe players, 2 or 3 safe players, and we have 2 players that are really good at 8 meters. We used to have 3 players, but we lost him. That was Stefan, that played with us 2009 and 2010. I think he was really good. He was a troublemaker though, so we don't want to have him with us anymore, because he was such a troublemaker. In the finals, when we met Gloria Victis in 2010, and the German team was playing beside us, he was running around and disturbed them all the time, and he was a real troublemaker. It was not fun. But he was really good at throwing Kubb.
What's a half blaster?
A blaster takes down maybe at least 4
Right.
Kubbs, but 4 and up. And a half blaster only takes 2 or 3.
Okay. So
You can be a really good half blaster, but a really poor blaster.
this is awesome. I like this. Yeah.
It's good to have different kind of players, and you must have
That's what I am, right?
I think you must have a blaster and a half blaster and a safe player and all that.
Yeah.
That's as much as I
But then again,
But you're really good at
it doesn't matter if all of those players can't hit at 8 meters. And nowadays we only have 2 players in our team that are really good at 8 meters.
And here's a question too. As you talk, I'm just writing down more and more. I apologize. Whenever you have to go, you just let us know. But
It's okay.
that the night after the VM when I was there, I had the opportunity to hang out. Well, the place we stayed was at Göran's parents' house.
Yeah.
Or at their stuga, at their little cottage that they had there. And
Yeah.
you weren't there, but most of your team was there. And I remember
all of my team except me.
Yeah, you had a rough evening, I think. Or-
No, it wasn't. Yeah, I had that too.
Okay.
But
All right.
this year I wasn't there too. So, but
Okay.
I like to be at the field at the Kubb VM and look at the finals and that stuff.
Yeah.
And the other guys in my team doesn't do that. They go
Okay.
to Göran's parents.
Okay. And we were having some of his dad's homemade drikker, I think, the Gotland drink.
Yeah,
And-
Gotland's dricka.
Dricka, yep. And I remember talking to Göran, and we were talking about 6-person teams. And something I'll never forget is that he looked me in the eyes, and he told me, "I love going last." And
Yeah.
and he said, "I don't want 1 to hit. I want 2 to hit. Give it to me. That's what I want." He says, "I want to have that spectacular shot every time." And
Yeah.
and I don't think every team has that person. There's people that maybe feel comfortable throwing at 8 meters, but there's a difference between a good 8-meter thrower that's going last and somebody that just wants that last shot. And
Yeah, he almost always throws last,
yeah,
and has done it for all years.
yeah.
He always throws down the king also.
Because there's really no more pressure in the game than going last and having 1 or 2 field cubes up to have to knock down so the other team doesn't move up on you.
Yeah,
And it sounded like he likes that.
yeah, he likes that, and he is also not to be cocky, but the next best player after me.
Okay, I like that.
He's really good.
Yeah.
I got a quick
But then,
one.
then also my co-captain, Thomas, he's the blaster in our team.
Okay.
He's really good at being the co-captain and being a blaster, and I'm really appreciate him. He's a really good co-captain. You can't just have one player that decides what's going to happen. You must have at least 2.
So, do you ever see in the tournament people missing the king?
Yeah, that happens.
Have
Too
you-
much nerves.
Have you missed the king? or as your team?
No, not in a match. But I'm almost never throws at the Kings because that's Domi's thing to throw at the King.
Okay. And he's good at it.
He's really good at it. I think I have thrown at the King maybe 1 or 2 times only on the VM. In 2010 in the semifinals, we had a really tough match, and Domi actually missed his spittoon at the King, and then the other player, the other team, missed also, and then we had the opportunity to win the match, and it was only me and him left, and we decided to switch. So I threw at the King instead, because he was getting too nervous because he missed the first one, and I got it. But I think that's the second time I have thrown at the King.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel Saturday morning getting to the championship, walking out on the fields? Are you nervous? Are you excited? What's going through?
I'm so excited that you can be. Saturday is the best day. It's amazing.
That's the best day of the year.
Also, I'm at Kubb VM from Thursday, so I'm there for 4 days.
That's the best day of the year for you.
Yeah, that 4 days I can't miss. If I have a job, I have said that I must be off then because I have to play. And if they wouldn't let me go, I would call in sick.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about.
I wouldn't miss it for anything.
This year, the VM had a couple changes, one of which I'm very curious about, living here in Wisconsin, and people here, not only do we like our cheese and ice cream, but we also like our beer here in Wisconsin. And this year, there was no drinking allowed while you were playing a game. Is that correct?
That is almost correct, because that's what was said before VM, that no drinking while playing. But it was okay to have a beer behind you that you could go and drink when it wasn't your turn.
Okay.
But you weren't allowed to hold the beer in your hand when the match was rolling.
What?
So you could drink, but it was only to not delay the matches. It's the only reason why they have this rule, to not delay the matches.
Okay.
So it was okay to have it behind you and go and drink now and then.
Did they?
So I was really drunk at the quarterfinals.
But you're still trying to win it.
Yeah.
Of course.
What?
I'm really good when I'm drunk.
So did the VM, did they get complaints on slow play because of people drinking and throwing in that, or why would they? I'm just curious.
They have got that before. That's why they make this rule. But this year, I don't think they got some complaints this year. The rule was pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Because you could drink if you want to, but not holding the beer and delay the matches. So I think that was good.
Are there any other rule changes that you would like to see at the VM? Or any rules that you don't agree with?
Oh, tough question. question.
Or any new rules that you think they should have?
I think. Oh, I don't know. When you raise the Cubs, they have changed the rules over the years so many times. But nowadays you can't raise the Cubs on the same place. I don't know how to explain this, but oh shit.
If
I don't know how to explain this rule in English. I'm sorry.
If they would be raised, if they would be forced to be raised to the same spot, is one of them called out?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
2 years ago or 3, they changed the rules so you could force the Cub in if they were going to be placed on the same spot.
Yeah.
But now they've changed it again. So you're not allowed to force the Cub if only with a minimal force, or what you should call it. Before it could be exactly the same spot, and you just force them.
Yeah.
But now maybe half of the Cub, and it's allowed to force.
Okay.
But then again, all the players that are playing don't care about that rule. They force it in all the way.
Okay.
It's only when you come to the quarterfinals and there are judges and referees the whole matches, then they decide. And that could be different. It depends on what referee you got.
Yeah.
Because they have different opinions, all of them.
Does that affect the way that you, as the incaster, does that affect the way that you throw it all when you're throwing the Kubbs? I mean, are you trying to not get them exactly in the same spot because of that rule in the quarterfinals? Or do you...
Yeah, I nowadays I'm not gathering them as tight as I'm used to.
And you do that intentionally because of that rule?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
And I think you said in the magazine too that that the goal isn't necessarily to get them all as close as possible, but the goal is to get them in a position where you can knock as many down as you can with one baton.
Yeah. But you don't need to gather them that tight to be able to knock all down.
Yeah.
Our blaster is so good, so I don't need to do that.
Yeah. When I forgot where it was, but you had talked after last interview we had from Sweden about the incaster throwing deep.
Yeah.
You said that you used to do that on a team that you played with before.
Yeah.
But do you do that now with Signalgatan?
No. Actually, I talked about that with the player from Gloria that I'm playing soccer with.
Yeah.
We talked about that, and that Ekeby was doing that sometimes. And sure, you could do that sometimes, but our opinion, we agreed on that tactic is for bad teams. Because
you're gonna knock them all down.
My old team did just that because they were not that good, and I have seen other teams that are doing that, and that's because they're not that good at 4 meters. So that's just a tactic for bad teams. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And the player from Gloria agreed with me on that.
Well, we value your opinion. That's why we wanted to talk to you, man. It's like I
Yeah.
still can't believe that we're Skyping and doing some sort of Ustream live thing where people are watching it all over the world and will watch it. We're sitting here in
Yeah.
little Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and you're over there right now in the old town of Visby. It's pretty amazing, man.
But you're having the exact same conversation that we are. I mean, we're talking
Yeah.
about that and thinking, well, you know, at what point do you want to go deep, and is it a skill that you ever even want to consider? Because I agree with you that it's never a problem to knock down the field Kubb. So why would you make them any further away than you have to? But
Yeah,
then
exactly.
again, you know, to be able to do that in some strange circumstance you might find yourself in, where you can drop one in right by a base Kubb and pull off a double. You know, we talk. Maybe you do want to do that sometime. I don't know.
Sure, that it's pretty cool to do that, but it's I don't know. It's a stupid tactic, I think.
Especially now when the only time that I can see doing it myself is if you have, let's say, 7 or 8 Kubbs and you're throwing them, and something happens and you all of a sudden have 2 Kubbs that get kind of far away from each other, and you know those are going to be singles. There's just no way around it. Those are going to be singles. And you're on a 6-person team is a lot different than a 2-person team. And then so maybe you have a group of 4, and then you have 2 singles. You're in a tight match with an even team, and you think to yourself, maybe I'll throw one safe. You know, I'll throw it deep, and see if we can clear out those 6 that are in the front at 4 meters, but then throw that one back to kind of maybe make sure we have a better chance of not letting that team move up, especially if it's a team that's not as good as us, because you don't want to lose to a team that's not as good as you by letting them move up on you. That's just my thought.
So you mean that you throw the 7th Kubb
Yeah,
longer?
yeah,
Maybe.
I should never do that.
no. even if you have 2 that are kind of off by themselves, and you know that those are only one.
I have, as I said before, I have 2 safe players. They take them down.
True. Okay. Yeah. And then you have the 4 others that will take those other 4 down.
And I take the 7th Kubb and try to get them with the other 4, and my blaster will take them. So I don't see no reason to throw it long.
But your team is a really good team. Not every team has the quality of players that your team has, right?
You could say that. I don't think we're really, really good. I think we're a good team, but half of the thing that's why we are good is because of the spirit.
Yeah. That's the part of the game that I love.
They hit the Cubs not because they're good. They hit them because they know the other players in the team will appreciate it so fucking much.
That's awesome. That is awesome. That's why I love this game. Just right there. I'm gonna quote that, man. It's true though. It's like if you feel like you're a part of something and there's no pressure if you miss it, and if you do miss it, people aren't going to say, "Oh man, you missed that. You suck." You know, if they say, "Oh, good shot."
That's not good at all.
No.
I mean, even if I'm going to lose every match in Kubb VM, I'm going to be just as happy as if I had won the whole team.
Yeah.
And I would make my team feel the same way. Because if I don't do that, they won't play any good for the rest of the year.
Question, real quick.
Yeah.
Looking back at Kubb VM this year, did you at all ever think about the game you lost, the match you lost, and how you lost it or how you could have won it? Or are your first thoughts back to how much fun you had that day?
The matches that I lost, I know why we lost them.
Mm-hmm.
And when we lose, 90% of the time we lose, it's because the other teams were better. Not because we were not good, but they were better. In the quarterfinals this year, we played really good, but Gloria Victis was a little bit better than us.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't much to do there. They were a little bit better than us on the 8 meters.
Okay.
But sure, I always remember all the fun things. I don't think so much about the games that we have played.
You think more of the fun that you had.
Yeah, with my friends and so on. The match is them. I don't think so much about it. I know why we are losing a match. You have no reason to go on thinking about it after.
I'm going to tell you a little secret, Johan.
Yeah.
I need to practice at that. I need to work on that. I think about the games I lost. Do you have any advice for me?
No, I don't have any
Help me.
advice for that.
Help me. Help me.
Yeah, you have to train. Think about something else. If you have good and fun persons around you, it's easier to don't think about it.
Yeah.
Because then you have so much other things to talk with them about. And when it's match, it's match. When it's over, then you do something else.
You're right. You're right. And for us, this whole thing is still new, right? I mean, this whole thing is still, the whole people traveling and playing and having their, team T-shirts here, like Team Kaboom or Sweet and Sons, Berserker Kubb, all these things. It's still new to us, and we're still kind of trying to figure our way through this complex forest of Kubb. Mm-hmm.
I do want to bring up something that I'm not an organizer of the U.S. national tournament, but I live here in town, and I feel like it's where the tournament is, kind of like what you said when we asked you if you think it could move, if VM could move. And I think part of it, I feel that here, is that when, it's a multi-day event, it's getting ready for it, and there's people coming and friends in town that come out of the woodwork for Kubb that I'm excited to see, because that's when I see them. And so I feel like we're kind of trying to catch up to what you guys have established there in Gotland. And I like to hear that 90 to 95% of the people there have heard of Kubb and know that the VM happens. And we're not there yet at all. But it's fun to see that it actually is working there. And people have asked about the U.S. tournament moving, and I wonder if Kubb would lose something if there wasn't a place, a hometown, a place where people like you, or where there's enough of this base where it sounds like so many people from Gotland go to that tournament. If VM didn't have a place where that many people knew about the game and wanted to play it, it couldn't exist on that scale. What do you think could? So it'd be the death of Kubb to move VM, because it might go to Berlin, where nobody knows what Kubb is there percentage-wise, and there's not a base of home teams that would have an interest in it, or so I'm hearing that as an argument for keeping the U.S. National Championship in Eau Claire, and makes there are people now that live in our little neighborhood. We call it Championship Hill, and that's you might, if you can find someone in another town that wants to play Kubb a lot and figure out how to get everyone in their own town to love the game and want to play more, go for it. But you're not going to take Championship Hill away from Championship Hill until you start winning some more Kubb games.
Yeah. Something else that I would love to see is that all the countries that are playing Kubb, that they do, I think it's Belgium that do this, or if it's Switzerland, I don't know, but they have their own championship and the winner gets to go to VM. I think all the countries should do like that.
You mean they're getting some sort of funding or otherwise sending them as a country?
The prize should be
Sure.
to go to VM and representing your country.
You just told us how much it costs to get there. Wow.
Holy
Do you
wow.
work for the tourism council?
I know it's really expensive, but that's just something I'd love to see.
It's our dream.
Be
Yeah.
awesome.
Do you guys, do you have another question, Scott? Or are you done?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay, Scott here's got another question for you. And then we'll Aaron, we'll just keep going, but go ahead, Scott.
Where
This is going to be good.
I really like your shirts and your logo
Yeah.
because those are my initials.
Oh, Scott Graham.
Where-
SG.
SG.
No, it's Signalgatan.
Yeah,
SG.
SG. That's my initials. Where can
Yeah.
I buy one of your shirts?
We're actually getting new shirts for next year. And we also, I don't know if you knew this, Eric, but we also play a Finnish game that is called Mölkki.
Yep.
Yeah. We also play that, and we have two Signalgatan teams there, and also have a ladies team that are playing Mölkki, and they are also getting new shirts. So the old shirt, the old one we don't have anymore.
Okay.
Wait,
The logos.
Do you want one of the new ones, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes. No. Yes, we do. We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Scott wearing that around here.
Yeah.
Maybe we could print some extras and send to you.
Yeah. And then we'll send you some Eau Claire and U.S. Championship shirts.
That would be awesome.
Is that cool?
I don't know when the new shirt will be ready, though.
We got time.
You got time.
Yeah.
We're settling into winter here almost, so we got time.
Nice.
I can maybe get you a Team Kaboom shirt. That's my team.
Yeah.
I'll get you one of our shirts.
So should we be calling it Kubb?
What did you say?
Should we call it Kubb? Everybody here calls it Kubb.
Cool. Kubb. I don't care. Call it whatever you want.
Yes, that's the answer I wanted to
I know
hear.
what you mean.
Right.
So,
Sure.
What is it in Swedish though?
Cool.
Kubb. Okay.
Yeah.
But the English.
But if you're in Sweden and you're speaking English, it's Kubb.
Yeah.
So we like to be honorary Swedes. That's what I say.
Yeah.
If you wanna speak like a Swedish person in Sweden, you call it Kubb. And if you want to speak the translation of it, you can say Kubb. And I don't care how you say it because you know what I'm talking about. And let's play.
Right. This winter, I'm gonna have a little class here in town. It's gonna be called Swedish for Kubbers, and I'm gonna try to introduce them to different terms and different Swedish words for the game. You know, just
Yeah.
different things. Bra match, you know, good game and things, just little things like that. Just like 1 hour, it'll be fun. Kind of get together. Maybe my wife will make a kardemumma brud or something like that. You know, just kind of do something fun and just kind of get people together and do that and have that be for adults and for kids. So that'll be fun. But before we let you go, I want to introduce you to something. All right, is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I want you to go to this website. You've been to wisconsinkubb.com. Have you been to that website?
Yeah, we have a link to that page on our homepage.
Okay, I like that. I'm going to put a link to yours on mine as well. And have you been to the uskubb.org? Have you been to the US Championship site?
I think so. I think I have
Okay.
been to all Kubb sites
Okay.
that exist.
All right, I want to introduce you to a new site, and
Yeah.
it's called Planet Kubb, and some guys over in the Twin Cities, the Minneapolis, they have this. Go on Planet Kubb, check it out. They got tons of stuff. Here's their shirt. They gave me this.
Yeah.
Unite people and create peace, and you probably can't read it down here, but it says planetkubb.com. But
Yeah,
you
Eric, I've already been to that site. I got a tips from Søren Wallin.
yeah, okay.
You know him.
Oh, I know
He
Søren.
He told me about the site.
Okay.
Good.
Sir, dude, these Jamie and Garrick over in Minneapolis right now. If I was them, I would have fallen off my chair knowing that Søren is out there promoting their site. But they just what's the word? Redid it, or they just kind of changed it and
Made it better.
made it better. And now teams can have their own, you know, you have your own website. My team, we have a Facebook page and things like that. Scott's team has a Facebook page and Twitter account and everything.
And website coming soon.
And website coming soon. But this Planet Kubb is allowing people to get on there and create their own team page where people can go on there and type up a little bit about their team and everything. So that's awesome that you guys have been there. I should have known. Your website that you have, you're kind of a big Kubb spokesperson for Kubb on Gotland. I mean, you get on there and you talk about the game and do updates and tournament results and everything. I mean, that's great.
Yeah, it's the only homepage you could read about the results from the other Swedish tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
You could only read it on our site. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Have you seen the stab? Is the stab around?
Have you seen our trophy for the national championship here in Eau Claire?
I think so. It's very huge.
Yeah, you've seen it. Yeah. Okay.
That's awesome. We should
Okay.
have that big statue on VM.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Have you seen the statue that is on Kubb VM?
The Big King?
No, the one you win.
No, I haven't seen that. No.
It's pretty tiny.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Here,
So it would be awesome if we had that size.
here in America, we go big. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Gotta be big.
I don't know.
I think that's awesome. It's more fun to win there.
Yeah, and to see the players pick it up and hold it, it's kind of like the Stanley Cup or something. You know, they kind of hold it and everything.
I was
so.
also thinking of the Stanley Cup when I saw
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but well, hey, we've been on the air here for a really long time.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any other questions or?
I'm very thankful for you to talk with us and for people for tuning in and watching this too, because it's this exciting growth of Kubb and, like you said, bringing people together and making your making your community stronger by bringing people on Goatland together too. It sounds like that's something that I like to see and the world needs more of. People getting together and having fun.
And one of my kind of ideas is that, you know, Goatland, the number of people that live on Goatland is very similar to the number of people that live here in the city of Eau Claire. And I like to think that in another even 3 or 4 years, we can have something created here where Kubb is just, everybody's doing it pretty much, or everybody at least knows about it. And it's amazing that we meet people and they've never played the game, but they've heard about it in the news or in the paper. And there's a small part of me that's like really hopes that like you and I've had talked with Nicholas Ogren from Elephant Bice and some of these other guys, and that I really hope that you guys see that happening and think of this as your sport, as your game, as something that you do, and that we're really excited to be a part of it with you and helping you guys take that game somewhere else and try to not recreate what you're doing there, but use it as a tool to bring people together. And I hope you guys sit back and say, wow, man, this is our game, and like everybody's doing it, you know. I think it's pretty cool, and someday I really hope to be able to come back and meet you guys again and do all that.
I really hope so too. I think it's cool to see how Kubb is growing.
Yeah. And I think it's a Goatland game. You know, I think it's from Goatland and it's spreading out to the world, and hopefully we're good ambassadors for the game. You know, hopefully you guys are happy. So, I don't know. But with that, thank you so much, Johan. And I'm going to stop the interview right here, the broadcast. But if you stay on, maybe we could just say bye again real quick and thanks. And I'm just gonna stop this and then do everything. Is that okay? So again, we've had the pleasure and opportunity to interview Johan Lundin, Lode, and from Goatland, and originally born in Grutling Bu. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's very close to Rone.
Okay, and now living in Visby. So from Team Signalgatan and a referee for the Kubb VM this past year. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks again for tuning into US Championship, usakubb.org, and we will see you all soon. I got an idea for the next guest, and everybody's going to love it. All right, everybody, thank you so much. To Aaron and Scott, thank you, guys.